Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Football Appreciation YouTube channel. Now, news is breaking that Emi Buendia looks like he's going to join Aston Villa for about £30 million. I mean, there's add-ons, but roughly 35 million pound. And this is a great signing for Aston Villa again. You know, using the domestic market better than most clubs in the Premier League. You know, Arsenal. I always just assumed he'd go to Arsenal. It kind of seemed like the natural path, but Villa has snuck in, and you know, when you look at this Villa squad now, it's building. You know, it's starting to level up and get that depth that they've kind of missing. I still think there's holes in this squad, right? Like I've put El Ghazi as the backup striker, but he's not a striker. I still think Arsenal Villa needs someone to not replace Ollie Watkins, but be a backup to Ollie Watkins. But if you look at that front three of Grealish, Watkins, and Buendia, I assume he's going to play off the right. He could play as a 10, but I assume he'll play off the right. Because don't get me wrong, Bertrand Traore's had a pretty okay season, you know, 7 goals, 6 assists. He's overperformed at his XG a little bit, which would concern me. And I think he's a very limited footballer, and none of his stats are particularly interesting. But you know, he's a useful player, just like Trezeguet, just like El Ghazi. And Buendia is just an amazing player for Villa. You know, 15 goals, 15 assists in the Championship is ridiculous. Like that might, I know people are going to say it's the Championship, but he's only 24, so he's at a peak age. It's not the first time he's done this in the Championship. You know, like Diogo Jota, for example, who's killing it at Liverpool. I think he got 15 goals, 8 assists, just for context, by the way. And when he was in the Premier League, obviously he's been in two great Norwich sides that got promoted. They've finished first both times, but he was in a bad Norwich team, and he got 1 goal, 7 assists, and he had expected goals plus assists of 9.4. That's pretty good. That's very similar to someone like Pedro Neto this season, and you know, this was in a relegated Norwich team that were awful. Bar Timo Pukki doing a madness, and it's a good signing for Villa. You know, you look at the Premier League table from this season, 11th. That's a pretty solid finish for Villa, and they finished where they probably deserve to be. I think that was a pretty fair representation of their season. And of course, they're always going to be reliant on Jack Grealish. Of course they are, but Wendy will ease that creative burden, and it will mean whenever I watch Villa, it feels like they're always just going down the left. It's why Matty Cash's attacking numbers are so terrible, and Matt Targets are all right, because they're always going down the left. Buendia, it alleviates that. You know, it's like when Wolves have Adama Traore and no one on the left. They've got two guys now who Ollie Watkins can feed off, and that front three is really promising. That back four are all young. They've got an elite goalkeeper. I worry about their midfield a bit. Like Ross Barkley was. I don't rate Ross Barkley. I don't think them lose. I assume they won't buy Ross Barkley. I don't think that's a loss for them at all. You know, Jacob Ramsey's coming through. It's hard to tell what type of player Jacob Ramsey is. He's clearly a decent dribbler. He's getting in good areas. He's getting involved whenever he's on the pitch. He's a really good presser. But I don't really know what Jacob Ramsey is. But Dean Smith likes him. I still think they need a DM Villa. I look at this squad and think maybe some full-back cover, a backup striker, and a DM. And I think Villa could push top six. Do you know, I don't think that's necessarily an unrealistic thing to say. You know, I think Douglas Luiz is a terrible footballer, personally. I know Villa fans love him, but his numbers are all awful. He's not good on the ball. He can't dribble. He doesn't score or assist. His defensive numbers are terrible. He's not good in the air. I don't really see what Douglas Luiz offers. Marvelous Nikamber is actually an amazing defender whenever he does play, but he offers nothing anything else. Like to be in the bottom 1% in Europe's top 5 for progressive passes, carries, dribbles, that's mental. So, you know, if you're a club like Villa, like a massive club, you kind of you probably need an elite DM to protect that back four. Not that their defence was particularly bad last season. Well, it wasn't great. I think it was the 7th worst. But I think that's very easily solved. And I don't really know what Morgan Stanton's going to turn into, but if they go and buy DM Villa, go and get a backup striker, maybe some fullback depth, I could see Villa pushing top 6. And on Buendia, it's an amazing signing. He's a good age. He's proven in England. I'm amazed they got him. Fair play to Aston Villa. I genuinely thought he'd go to Arsenal. It felt like the natural step. But let me know what you think, Villa fans. Subscribe below. Comment what you think. But like the video. And yeah, great signing. Peace.